Live on this beautiful Saturday, December 13th, just 12 days away from Christmas. Isn't that when the song's supposed to start? 12 days of Christmas. Um, yeah, we are on the eve of week 15. It's already started, and hopefully, either you played Kyle Pitts or or he was not involved at all in your matchup. And I hope you didn't play against him because that's brutal if you did, kind of potentially losing your entire week, depending on how deep your rosters are. If you have shallow rosters and someone started Kyle Pitts against you, you have a very small chance of winning. Unfortunately, when someone puts up a game like that, or a game like that. So, but we are here. We'll answer your questions if you have them. So drop them in the chat. We got, not a lot of college football on today. There's a few games, some FCS playoff games happening. We got some Army versus Navy, which is a big game. So, that's always a fun game to watch. The military academies go at it. And then there's a couple bowl games as well, pretty early on. I think Boise State and Washington's playing. I'm excited to see. We're starting to get some people announcing, that they're going to come out in the 26th draft, which is awesome. But there's still a whole lot of underclassmen that we don't know, especially the quarterbacks, that we don't know if they're going to enter the draft or not. And if you play Dynasty, it's making this 26 class really, really hard to predict right now. It really is. So if a lot of these guys come out, I'm excited for the class. If even half of them go back to school, it makes the class pretty weak. So Rocky, what is up? It always throws me off that it says take the damn photo, but I think that's like your mobile name or something. I'm not sure how that works. StreamYard and YouTube just kind of started this like mobile. You can stream to mobile and normal viewers as well. So Dodgers did pick up their closer in Edwin Diaz. So congrats to the Dodgers. Just the rich get richer. I honestly hope they put some kind of, what is it, 27? There's probably going to be a holdout, a lockout in 27 for the for baseball because their collective bargaining agreements up and stuff. They got to figure out something. Like, this is not even just like, I'm a Padres fan, obviously, and the Padres spend a lot of money. Like, this needs to be regulated a little bit, just in terms of how many people can, how much people that can, or how much money you can spend. Needs to be some kind of a salary cap, in my opinion. And again, this is coming from, as a Padres fan, who over the last 5 years have to be in the top 5 or so of a team that spent the most money. I think it would just help the parity of the league a little bit. So, but yeah, Edwin Diaz, exciting there as they bring in my brother here. And we get to Marv. I think, Marv, you talked about this one and we didn't, get to it too much, or maybe you weren't around or something. Maybe this was a different one, but I feel like it was the same. So the 14-man start 8, he traded Woody Marks, Tua, Io Manor, Diggs, Montgomery, Kelsey, Judy Hawkinson for a 26th first, a second, a third, and Juwan Jennings. So he traded a lot. Guys like Diggs, Kelsey, maybe even Montgomery. Like, how useful are they beyond this year? I mean, Montgomery will still have a lot of value, but I know you talked about league is always trying to one up, but I panicked, traded for Daniel Jones for Tua, and went on a trade spree. I need to clear spots with 4 extra draft picks this year. Yeah. I mean, maybe you overpaid, but I know you mentioned like this league is hard to trade in and stuff like that. So if you're not competing, I mean, the pieces really are like Marks, Tua, Hawkinson, Judy, Io Manor. I don't know. It feels like an overpay, especially in a 14 team, but it is a start 8. So a lot of those pieces might not matter. But also, if you couldn't get a trade done and you wanted to, then I don't hate it, I guess. A lot of pieces there. Thoughts on the trade?
Yeah. Terrible, Marv. No, I'm just kidding. No. I know, like you said, we've talked about this one a few times. I know we didn't really get a chance to really get into it, but I don't really mind it too much, especially because that first is he's hoping it's kind of on the higher end. And yeah, obviously, like you want superstars in a start 8. I mean, the 14 man does help balance it out a bit. I can't remember if this is tight end premium or not. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Kelsey's an expiring asset. Could be his last go at it. We don't really know. So I think it's probably not too crazy. You know, it's like Hawkinson. We don't know if he's ever going to like regain much value. So, and Judy we're hoping for, but yeah, I think you kind of summed it up pretty good.
Yeah.
It's hard in a 14 man. Wait, is this Superflex too?
I believe so. Let us know, Marv, if it's Superflex. I want to say it is, but maybe it's not. Tight end premium.
I see that. Because the Tua thing is going to be tough, right? Like, I don't know how you're going to get another quarterback. All right, so
yeah,
Hunter Henry and Oronde is his are his tight ends. So definitely good enough in a 14 man.
I mean, there's a very good chance that, you know, Kelsey, Montgomery, Hawkinson, and Judy and Diggs. So that's six of the pieces there. And even Iomanner are like, you know, if you're starting those guys in a 14-team start 8, you're probably in trouble anyways, you know?
Yeah.
Like just based off of age or what these guys have done this year. So if you look at it that way, it makes the trade a lot more easy to digest, I think.
Yeah. I think so.
So yeah, let us know if it is a super flex there, Marv. It balances out because I'm a Raiders fan. Yeah. I mean, what if you're a Padres and a Chargers fan? You just never experience anything. At least you got something with the Dodgers. He's a Dodgers fan.
You're just dead inside if you're a Padres and Chargers fan.
Yeah, basically. Can't believe I might be adding Rivers in my super flex when I drafted him back in 2008. Yeah. Yep. Crazy stuff, man. But I mean, kind of writing was on the wall there. I was like, maybe he didn't play this week just to like get his legs under him a little bit. But it's also like Rivers is not coming back to just be on the practice squad or whatever. Like that's just not happening. So he's starting. See, I liked what he said when they were like, "Oh, like, are you worried about like, you know, your age and not being able to move?" And he was like, "I've never been able to move. Like, they've always known I'm gonna just." And that's so true. Me and Dad used to talk about it all the time. As soon as Rivers broke the pocket, scrambled to the right or left, it was an incomplete pass 99% of the time. It was just like he could not throw on the run. He just looked like so awkward, refrigerator on the back. You know, a baby learning how to walk when he's running, and it was almost always incomplete. And then I remember specifically like watching Rodgers. This was I think it was 2011, which I want to say was Rodgers, one of his first MVP year. The Packers went like 15-1. And we just saw like we used to have season tickets. So it was a game in San Diego, like Rodgers rolls out and just launches like a 60-yard touchdown on the run. And just like, God damn. Like, and that was, you know, Rodgers is kind of like one of the first like mobile pocket quarterbacks, at least like in you know, since the 2000s and stuff. I'm sure there was stuff in the 90s and 80s, but like there was a lot of like statues, you know, Brady, Manning, Rivers, Breeze. Rodgers is one of the first like mobile pocket guys. So, but yeah, kind of crazy. So you have HN, Walker, Brees, Sharp, and Tootin. Yeah. It's a pretty nice running back room, especially if Brees gets on another team, and even Walker too.
Yeah. I mean, given the context of that too, like with him telling us like he's basically telling us like his more or less like his starters, right? And it's like, yeah, those other guys were kind of just they were bench depth. And if you do have all these extra picks to take more dart throws, you are gonna end up having to clear house a little bit. That's always hard to do. Like I'm kind of in that situation in our home dynasty league because it's not extremely deep. I think we're 25-man roster. It's only 10 team and then 5 taxi squad. So, I think I have 3 of my 4 picks coming up this year. And it's like, I don't even know who to drop. I don't have to make that decision right now, but it's going to be because there's a lot of startable guys, but 10 teams start 10. It's like some of these guys aren't startable,
Yeah, sorry, I was just counting. And he's talking about how he has the where is it here? He said he has the 106, the 107, a random first, and the 202. So you have a lot of capital there. I was kind of looking at. I'm probably going to be releasing a Dynasty Superflex rookie mock video here soon, like round 1. It's so hard with this draft class though, because I saw a 2-round mock draft, and I think there was about 15 fantasy relevant players taken in the first 2 rounds, which isn't terrible. It's not great. Last year was like I think 20 or 21 for context there. But like I don't mind this class if all these guys come out. So you have Fernando Mendoza, Carnell Tate. Quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Dante Moore, quarterback. The problem is, like, all these guys are underclassmen. They're all underclassmen. Mendoza, Dante Moore, both of those guys could go back to school. Ty Simpson is the other quarterback being projected in the first round, could go back to school. Lenora Sellers also could go back to school. Those are probably like the top 4 quarterbacks in this draft class on most people's big boards. All very good chance they go back to school. Like, unless they get, it's going to be interesting. Like Mendoza and Indiana, they're in the college football playoffs. If they win it all, it probably leans to Mendoza going into the draft, right? But if they fall short, they're undefeated. They're the number 1 team. He maybe wants to go back and try and win it all there. And plus the NIL money and all that, like. We do have a couple of names that we know are coming out. Jordan Tyson, which is a lot of people's wide receiver 1, is coming out of Arizona State. Jeremiah Love hasn't officially announced it, running back for Notre Dame, who's going to be probably a first-round pick, maybe a top 10 pick. He should be coming out. And there was someone else that I forget. Oh, Chris Brazel, the second. So we're getting some names, but it's like, if all these guys come out, I really like this draft. If even 25% of them, 30% of them go back to school, I don't love the draft, but of course, that's always going to change. So, thinking of playing Jacoby over Zay Flowers in my redraft PPR league. Zay against Turner got shut down 2 weeks ago. Afraid Ravens are going to control the game with the run. Which way are you going here with Myers versus Flowers?
Yeah. I don't really mind it too much. I'm trying to decide who I would actually start. I feel like they're going to have similar opportunity. Obviously Flowers just had a good game. It was his first one in a while, if you're going to count the 5 for 58 a few weeks ago as decent enough, I guess, in PPR. But last week, 8 for 124, like, he is the number 1 receiver, like on the Ravens. God, I was going to say on the Baltimore. I guess I could have said on the Baltimore Ravens. But Jacoby's kind of filling that role right now for the Jags. Like you didn't want to admit. No, we're like, I'll give Lawrence credit. Like, he's actually been playing pretty well. Mm-hmm. They're not throwing a whole lot in Jacksonville, and Lamar never throws a lot. Like, I'm just kind of pulling up his numbers. I mean, yeah, similar pass attempts, more or less, like are right around 30. And that's pretty typical for for the Ravens. Do you think there's a possibility for 35 plus pass attempts for Trevor this week?
Yeah.
They're against the Jets, who are
it's Brady Cook. Yeah, probably not, to be honest.
I know exactly. It's kind of like I don't know who I would actually start here.
You're hoping he finds like the end zone a couple times early in the game, because this could be a run the ball the entire fourth quarter game.
Yeah. I think I'll give the slight lean to Jacoby.
Yeah.
Partially because the PPR, but I don't know. That's kind of a tough one.
Bengals somehow have been number one against receivers over the last month, like least amount of points given up, 15 points to receivers over the last month.
And Zay Flowers would be part of that because
not the greatest like receiving room, like Bills guys, Ravens guys, Patriots guys, Steelers guys, if they're in there.
Yeah, there's no real standout guy. It's like Metcalf
but good quarterbacks, like you would think, like you would able, like at least, because that's total points. So you'd think they would at least be able to give like 25 points per game. So I know tight ends have been destroying the Bengals. So that's part of it. So I do give the slight lean to Jacoby. I think he's safer, and I think they have similar upside. So I go for Jacoby there.
Not a ton of touchdown upside. I mean, Jacoby scored a touchdown in all of the last 3 games he's played, so that's good. I don't know where those touchdowns are occurring, if they're like red zone, probably not end zone. I don't know. But I mean, Flowers, like he's like 3rd on the pecking order at best for touchdowns, right? Like it's like Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, and probably even Likely over Flowers, at least when they get down there. But we know those big passes occur with Flowers. I don't know if we've seen a ton of those this year, but it's definitely like Lamar was hitting Flowers a bunch last year with that stuff. So it's always possible.
Yeah. The Ravens don't look right, man. They don't look right. Lamar doesn't seem healthy at all. The Michael Wilson career week. I mean, damn, if he has a career week, like he is going to have a monster week because he's been having career weeks. Like I heard maybe it was on the CBS podcast, or maybe it was another podcast I listened to, but it was basically games without Marv. He's on pace for like over 2,000 yards receiving, Michael Wilson. So a career week would have to be his best week. This is 15 for 185 in terms of just like yardage and catches, or 11 for 142 and 2. That's obviously the better fantasy game. Or it's not that much better, right? It's pretty close. But
I mean, split the difference. 13 for 160 and 1 touchdown.
Not a career week though. No.
Yeah, I know. Not in any metric.
Aren't they playing the Texans?
Yeah, they are playing the Texans.
Yeah, so I would say no, but I'm still starting him.
Oh 100%. 100%.
He's probably a
it's kind of funny that. So in our half PPR league, Michael Wilson is the wide receiver 29. And that's basically on the back of literally 3 games, right? Like 450 yards and 2 touchdowns in 3 games. That's more than, and like his stats on the year. How many catches did he have? 21. So 36 catches, about 450 yards and 2 touchdowns. His entire year is 61 catches, 712 yards, 3 touchdowns. So it's like more than half of everything is in 3 games.
Does that discourage you about like Marv in the future? Like, why can Marv be doing this? We haven't seen a lot of Brissett and Marv together, but
I mean, I heard some interesting things about Michael Wilson, and even going back to last year about Marv. You know, it's like I haven't watched a ton of Cardinals this year, but I know they weren't really giving Marv a lot of kind of like the easier layup stuff to like get him the ball, like, you know, just a couple yards down the field and like let him make plays. So I don't really know if that's still not happening for him, but they just use Michael Wilson differently. It is so weird for this guy that's been there for 2.5 seasons to just be like, okay, now we need to use him. Oh, and he just is destroying. It's not like he wasn't there before, but he was like irrelevant for fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, good on him, and hopefully this kind of like moving forward, like, yeah, like maybe the identity of the Cardinals will look different going into next year, because they were always kind of, it was always James Conner, right? Like as the engine for the offense. We don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know what his his contract situation is necessarily, and we don't know. We haven't seen enough of Trey Benson to know if he's really going to take that role over and kind of fill that. Like, I don't know. It could be Michael Wilson, McBride, and Marv, like in the passing game, that kind of control the tempo of this team.
Connor's under contract, but they do have it out. So
yeah, they obviously like him, so keep him around, but maybe don't just run him into the ground.
Yeah, he is a pretty decent cap hit for a running back, though, especially a guy that can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Guy has 10 plus kids. Nothing on the football field scares him anymore. Our generation, Dan Marino. Yeah, in the sense of like he never won a Super Bowl. I guess my one counter to that is like Marino was considered like the best quarterback during his time, whereas Rivers was never considered the best. He was definitely in like the top 5. That was just, there were so many good quarterbacks during that time. So he just, unfortunately, he played in the AFC with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Like, it's kind of like all the guys that couldn't win a championship because Jordan played and it was dominant in the 90s, So that's the unfortunate part. Interesting to, people are talking about, it's going to reset his Hall of Fame clock. I'm not 100%. I think he is a Hall of Famer. I don't think it's guaranteed, though, that he's a Hall of Famer. So never made it to a Super Bowl. The furthest he got was the AFC Championship game. His counting stats are obviously better than, he's in the top 10 of like everything, essentially. But, different game and stuff like that. I did see that, like, I think he can pretty easily pass Ben Roethlisberger for career passing yards.
Maybe that's why he's coming back.
And they've always been linked together. Same draft class. It was always a conversation of like, who's the best quarterback in this draft class? Eli Manning, Rivers, or Roethlisberger and stuff like that. I think there's even someone else in there that I'm missing, but he is about 600 yards away from passing Ben Roethlisberger. So he has 4 games to do that. We'll see. Also, Stafford's right on his tail. Stafford's like 300 away from him. So,
yeah. Do those stats count playoffs?
No.
Okay. I had another question. Oh, what happens if, like with recency bias and stuff, like, I don't know how much that affects NFL Hall of Fame choices. Like if he comes back, he's just terrible. And then that's what everyone reminds, like that's what they associate him with. They're like, man, like he should have just stayed in retirement, and then he never gets the nod.
No, I think it can only help him. Like if he goes on this crazy run and he wins a playoff game or something, it's gonna be it's gonna be like a Hollywood movie story, And so I think it can only really help him. So. Rivers can't throw anymore. Yeah, I mean he's going to be a lot of dinking and dunking. So I think he can still throw 5 yards, 10 yards down the field. Maybe there's not as much zip on the ball, but his deep balls, I'm not sure what's going to be happening.
Go Jonathan Taylor, over 5.5 catches, right?
Sorry, I'm just resetting my headphones because I hear like a robot again. Yeah. His last 2 years with the Chargers weren't good. I don't think he liked being in LA either. So, yeah, I mean, their chance, 2006 was the year. Chargers were by far the best team, and they choked it away. Had a chance in 2007, but Rivers played on a tour. He tore his ACL the week before. They upset the Peyton Manning and the Colts. They always had the Colts number, and they upset him a couple times in the playoffs when they shouldn't have. And then tore his ACL in that game. They also lost LaDainian Tomlinson and I think Gates was hurt in that game too, Antonio Gates. And then he got ACL surgery, played a week later on it. It was pretty
What?
against the Rivers tore his ACL in the divisional round of the playoffs in 2007. He did it during the game, got knocked out of that game. LT was knocked out of that game. I think Gates was also knocked out of that game. Their backup won the game for him. Upset Manning and the Colts, who were the favorite. And then they played the undefeated Patriots in 2007 in the AFC Championship game. And Rivers, he had ACL surgery on Monday and played on Sunday. So, I mean, that could have he could have lost his whole career there. He was 2 years into that was his second year as a starter. He could have just jeopardized his whole career. So I always have respect for Rivers for doing that. And they kept that game close. I think the final game, final score was 18 to 9 or so. They just couldn't score touchdowns because all their offensive weapons were hurt and their quarterback was 12 to 21. So they kept it close. Their defense was good. The Colts had a good team that was ready to win. Rivers was not him. Yeah. I mean, back in 2020, Rivers, if you go back and look, he actually had a decent season. I don't think they were going to win the Super Bowl really with anyone, to be honest. So that year, I mean, Rivers threw for 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, almost 4,200 yards. Lost to the Bills, I believe it was in the playoffs. They kept that game close, but then he won. I don't know. Did I say that? Well, if I did, then I misspoke. They lost to the Patriots.
Oh, no. You did say they lost.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was 21. It's 21-12. I remember them just being in that game, and there was always if they score a touchdown here, it's a game, but they just never could get in the end. So
are you drinking eggnog or is that coffee?
No, it's coffee. It's
okay.
Cold brew coffee. Rivers made me hate Mike Williams' pick. Here. Therefore, grandfathering my huge hate. Yeah, the Mike Williams pick, I wasn't super excited about it too. Dak or Mahomes?
Mahomes. We talked a lot about Dak on Thursday, right? The Vikings have just been shutting quarterbacks down. And I think Mahomes and Dak have similar upside, so go with the one with the arguably better matchup. I don't know where the Chargers are against quarterbacks.
They're pretty tough.
Yeah. It's still a divisional game. They always play each other pretty tough. Those games get pretty high scoring often between Herbert and Mahomes. So what was the one earlier this year?
Chargers are third best over the last month against quarterbacks, giving up 9.14 points.
Yeah, but
obviously Hurts with his negative or barely positive. Not a terrible. They played the Raiders, they played Hurts, they played Geno, they played Trevor Lawrence, and I think that was it in the last 4 weeks. So nothing too crazy, but they are a tough defense overall. But I probably lean Mahomes as well. But they're both really bad matchups.
Yeah, 27-21 Chargers in week 1. That was the score. Obviously the teams are so different this far into the season. But I feel like that's pretty typical. They're gonna both quarterbacks are gonna throw for multiple touchdowns, I'd say.
I hope. I don't know. It might be a 13-10 game or something. Got another tough one. Henderson versus the Bills, or Judkins versus the Bears with no Samson. I'd probably still go Henderson. I just tend to lean that way because these guys are always going to be ranked very they're going to be ranked next to each other a lot. I'm just always worried about Judkins kind of getting shut out a little bit, because I don't think he's guaranteed to catch a pass. He has You kind of look at his game log. His catches are 0-0, 3-2, 0-0, 3-1. Like he could catch. You're happy if he catches 2, right? But he could easily catch 0. He has to find the end zone, which is always hard to bank on. So I lean Henderson. I just think like he could not find the end zone and still be pretty good. I am a little bit worried about Ramondre, but the Bills are a pretty good matchup for running backs, like to play your running backs against. So I lean. I think the Bears are too as well, by the way. But Bears are kind of middle of the pack recently. But
yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna go Henderson too, just to answer the question. Partially because I wonder. It doesn't say PPR or anything. But I was going to say the involvement in the passing game for sure helps Henderson. I was going to say I have to amend the Chargers Chiefs thing. You have to go back to like 2022 to actually get like a decent scoring game. Everything else was sub 20, basically. The Chiefs, except for the game earlier this year. So not as many like shootouts as I quite thought. I'm still going Mahomes there though.
Yeah, it's also okay. Both are like basically indoors, Minnesota and LA. So, but yeah, we're gonna go Henderson there, Rocky. It's close though. If it's half or standard, it definitely makes it closer. PPR's pretty easily Henderson. Half, I'd probably still lean Henderson. Standard, I might go Judkins. But I'm not like even super confident in that, to be honest. Likely or Juwan, Jeff, I know we talked about this. I have the same decision. I'm going to go Likely. I'm going to go Isaiah Likely, and just what tight ends have been doing to the Bengals has been pretty insane, and I'm going to ride that. So I think they're similar players, but I'm going to go with like what seems to be the best matchup right now for tight ends. So
yeah, and I think I was kind of on the Juwan Johnson side, and then one of the ending comments when we were talking about this on Thursday was, "You're like, I think they probably have a similar floor, but I think the ceiling for Likely is probably a little higher." And it's like, yeah, I don't disagree with that. So I don't mind your breakdown for going for Likely. So.
Yeah. The ceiling is the roof.
Yes. My coworker told me the next day, he was like, the only thing I got from that podcast was the ceiling is the roof.
Yeah. Or you might have said the floor or something, right? Because that's what I originally said.
Or the floor is the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know. But he's a big basketball guy, so he probably remembered like what you were talking about.
Yeah. It was just like, yeah, no one cared because it's just Michael Jordan speaking. I don't give a fuck what he says.
Yeah.
Like T-Law versus the Jets, or Purdy versus the Titans.
I feel like we kind of talked about this one also. And I don't remember what I was saying. Like now that, because I'm kind of like been thinking about this a lot about Trevor Lawrence, honestly. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I think I want to go with Purdy, but these guys are probably going to end up pretty similar.
Yeah, it's a coin flip. I mean, just looking at matchups here, some reason the Jets. Did we talk about this? Like, why are the Jets only giving up 11.23 points to quarterbacks over the last month? Is there something there? Like, did they play like trash cans or something, or play Tua, who does not throwing a lot? Cousins, I do remember talking about this.
Yeah,
and then Lamar, who hasn't been playing well. But I don't know. I do think I lean Purdy. It's a coin flip. Like both these games could be over at halftime type of games, which is not good for fantasy for your quarterbacks and stuff because they're going to throw less. But maybe you can make the argument that I feel like the Niners can have a good game and like Purdy doesn't really do much. Whereas like if the Jags do that, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I lean Purdy, but it really is a coin flip. So
yeah, I mean,
Lawrence been running more.
What's that?
Lawrence has been running more. I'm just looking at his game log here. Like over the last 9 weeks, he has 54, 9, 18, 24, 35, 9, 29, 25, 16. So only 2 games under 10 yards, and basically most games over 20 rushing yards. And he has 5 rushing touchdowns in that stretch too. So that's nice.
I think
I do.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I wonder how many rushing touchdowns San Francisco is actually averaging. This is kind of
McCaffrey not have a lot of rushing touchdowns.
I didn't think he definitely started off slow. I feel like he was getting a lot of receiving touchdowns.
He has 8 this year.
Yeah, and a lot of them more recently too. I was just kind of thinking like, oh, even if the Niners score 3 touchdowns, like I would think 2 of those are going to be through the air. So that actually kind of has flipped itself back towards McCaffrey with the rushing touchdowns, because it took until week 6 before he got one. I remember that kind of being a thing. It's like he's getting a touchdown every other game, but it's all receiving. So yeah, I think slightly to Purdy.
Yeah, but it really is a coin flip. I'm going to go Dart here over Mahomes. Just really, Washington is the matchup, so I would say it's a plus matchup for the most part. Dart is, had his concussion, came back and ran the ball 4 times. Like it's not like he shied away from running. So I'm going to go Dart. It sounds like you're going Mahomes.
I think I'm still going to go Mahomes.
There you go. Where are they playing at? It's either way, it's outdoors. So they're playing home to Washington. So do check the weather. There's actually, let me pull up.
No, it's in New York, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's outdoors though.
Oh, well, yeah. I thought you said home Washington. I don't know.
I was just maybe I did, but I meant they both are outdoors. So the Kevin Roth on Twitter, guys, he's like the weather guy. Essentially, he gives color. I think he works for Roto Grinders. Yeah, Roto Grinders, and he's talking about there are some games that are going to be like incredibly cold. The Bears, I think it's the Bears. Yeah, Bears Cleveland game is going to be like really cold, but that's about it. He says we have 7 games with freezing temperatures, some of those in the 20s, and then 1 game, Chicago, close to 10 degrees. So I don't know if that affects how much that affects. Like I know wind and rain can, but just cold, how much does it affect it? But keep an eye on that. That could be like a tiebreaker there. But I'm going to go Dart.
I'm just looking at team total rushing touchdowns. I think it should be pretty obvious who has the most.
For what?
Which team has the most rushing touchdowns? That's an easy
Bills?
one, right? No.
Who?
JT, man. Well, I mean, not specifically with the Colts, but it's kind of funny that the Raiders only have 4 on the season rushing touchdowns, and it's like Jonathan Taylor. I guess he didn't have 4 in any one game, but he had 3 in a lot of games, so just kind of funny.
Yeah. Where are the Bills there?
Bills are second. They're only 2 behind the Colts, and then it's Lions, and then Jags actually. So 17 for the Jags, 11 for the Niners.
Lawrence has 5 of those, maybe 6, but for sure 5. Half PPR: Jameson Williams, Omarion Hampton, Jalen Warren. Sucks you have to bench 2 of these guys. Ooh, half PPR.
Team's really good because you're flexing them.
Yeah, I just feel like we're gonna make the wrong choice here.
JMO. The JMO love continues from the Thursday conversation.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. I'm probably the same. So, what was there was a report about Amarian Hampton and Kamani Vidal, like it's going to be ride the hot hand or something. I never know how to take those things, man. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it's
Hampton,
really good if you're the guy you started has the hot hand, right? Like, yeah, but those things are so hard to like figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go JMO as well. I do really want to start Hampton though, just because I think like he looked good. First game back, he looks pretty good. So it's just usage issues. So I probably do go JMO there.
Yeah, I mean, just win this week with Jameson Williams, and then Hampton gets Dallas in week 16. So you're fine. Then you can start them.
I'm gonna change our background to Forest Joy here.
Oh, I like this one.
I liked it. Yeah, I like this one a little more. Who should I start? I have 2 flex spots open. Woody, Harvey, or Hendy. Man, two. Okay, so you at least have 2. I'm going to assume it's PPR. Woody, Harvey, or Henderson, or this is
Harvey the easy one.
I mean, no Nick Chubb, right?
Let's see. I think that is true. No, he's questionable. 16 hours ago, they said. So he has a rib injury, so that's a pain tolerance thing. So he'll probably be out there, but how much will he actually play? You know, I mean, he hasn't been playing much since their bye week anyway. So, I'm not even really thinking about Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, is he not like? I mean, 15. You know, I know he got hurt last week, so like, 6-9 carries. Like you imagine those. Yeah, that's significant enough to where like, okay, those are probably going to go to Woody Marks now. Like, and there's no question who's at the goal line. I think they did bring in Chubb at the goal line. Does have a rushing touchdown. So I think it's significant enough, especially for goal line work. Man, this is tough. I kind of want to lean the 2 better matchups, and that's actually benching Harvey. But it's hard to ignore like Harvey's PPR floor because he's going to catch probably 3 passes at least. Maybe I just go Woody and Harvey because I know they're going to get the most work and avoid Henderson. I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to go Harvey Henderson, yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. It really is kind of a coin flip there. Let me see Arizona. What have they been doing against running backs here? Cardinals are on the season 4th most points to running backs, and they're basically, even worse over the last month. I might go Marks. I might go the 2 better matchups, Marks and Henderson, and avoid the Packers, who, although the last month they've been giving up a good amount of points, they're, I guess they're more middle of the pack. So, yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going to go Marks and Harvey. Marks and Harvey. I'm benching Handy.
Okay.
Benching Handy. We were being unks, Voids, and we were talking about a game from 2007. So 18 years ago. So we're old. Likely or Gesicki standard. Who has a better chance at a touchdown? I'd say Likely.
Yeah, I would too.
But T. Higgins out and Gesicki, that's when Gesicki shines. I'm still going to go Likely because of the matchup as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gesicki has a good game because Higgins is out. Jacoby or McCarthy. I'm going to go hands against Houston.
I know. I was going to say, we talked a lot about Jacoby, right?
You just play matchup here?
I kind of feel like I want to start McCarthy, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Cowboys are the worst team against quarterbacks, and it's been like that the last month basically too.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, this is fantasy football in a nutshell, right? Do you like? I mean, everything's win now. Right now, it's like, do you start the guy who's literally gotten you like 25 points every week since he's been starting, or do you go to JJ McCarthy? Who has not looked great for the most part. He had a good game last, like, just hyper efficient was the thing last week, right? Like, only 16 completions for 163, but 3 touchdowns, so you're happy. Man, but yeah, that matchup, so juicy.
Texans are legit, man. It's like there's a few of those defenses. There's just like avoid.
Yeah, we've been talking about them. Man, I wish this wasn't a playoff question, because it's like, if you lose this week, whatever. But I think I'm gonna start McCarthy.
I think so too. 6 carries last week too. I know Brissett moves a little bit as well. He had 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go McCarthy. So lost DJ Nurse last week. That's tough. What's up, Kevin? Rico against the Saints. Do we like him? I kind of just view Rico as a solid RB2 right now. So with upside, because Chuba Hubbard had the better game. At worst, this is going to be a 50-50 split. This team probably, if they can, and I think they should be able to, run the ball 40 times. And Rico still had like 20 touches last week. So it's just Chuba was better with his touches. It happens, but both those guys are going to get work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like him as like an RB2 with upside. So, would you start Schultz or Mark Andrews this week, full PPR? So we talked about that matchup. Schultz has been pretty good this year. Andrews been up and down, but a really good matchup. I think I go Andrews.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the touchdown upside for Andrews is definitely there. Similar kind of, I was going to say target share, but target opportunity, I would say, Schultz being on the better side of it. But it's a little up and down for him. Down meaning regular tight end, like up, obviously, meaning like he's getting 7 or 8 targets. You don't think the full PPR has any sway over you? I mean, I think Schultz is going to catch more passes.
Probably.
I'd say the upside for Andrews versus the floor of Schultz is kind of how you have to view it, right?
Yeah, and I'm probably just gonna, for my tight end position, I'm probably gonna go upside, because if Andrews catches 2 touchdowns and 50 yards and 5 catches, like there's a very good chance look at the Pitts stuff, right? Like you start Pitts and you probably win your week. Now, obviously Pitts had a monster year, or a game, but if Andrews gives you 20 points or something, 25 points, you're probably winning your week. So I agree, though. Schultz has a better floor for sure. Andrews has a couple games, of 1 catch. So recently. Do we think Ferguson plays? Ferguson or Juwan Johnson, Myers, or Fairbairn? What's Ferguson's status? Because if he plays, I probably play him.
Yeah, it's Sunday night, so that's tough. When do the Saints play?
Probably the early game.
Yeah, probably.
No one wants to watch that shit.
They're afternoon. Well, for us, so they're the middle set of games.
Okay.
So you might know by then. Probably not if he's like truly questionable. Like you probably won't know until you have to have started Juwan. So I would just keep your ear out, kind of a thing, to see if Ferg's going to play or not, because I would rather start him over Juwan. But you need to be able to start somebody. So Mr.
Yeah, I
Johnson.
mean,
If you don't have news that Ferguson's definitely going to play.
yeah, if you like really want Ferguson, then like if Hawkinson's on the waiver wire, you can pivot there. Probably involves dropping
Or
Ferguson, but Schoonmaker, I don't know.
dropping Jawan.
I just meant like if you're waiting until Sunday night and you don't know if Ferguson's playing.
Yeah, but if you're not starting Jawan, you might as well just drop him for the handcuff tight end anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Myers or Fairbairn. Man, we don't play kickers in our leagues anymore. So looks like Myers is home. Home against Seattle. Houston's home against Arizona. I'd probably go Fairbairn. It's going to be better weather, guaranteed, because it's indoors. So that's the way I go. Would you trade Wan'Dale on a high? I mean, you're saying in the offseason. I assume you're playing your trade deadline's done. I would trade him now if I could. I don't know. He's one of those players where like he has a lot of value now, and the value kind of plummets in the offseason because people are going to want to see it. Like they're going to want to see it again, and they're going to be like, yeah, he was good during that stretch. He was good last year. But like it's Wan'Dale Robinson, and we're gonna base what our priors on him and what he's done before that. Yeah, I mean we'll have to visit that in the offseason. I don't really know right now what he's worth though, and his value is gonna drop by 30% or something once the season's over, unfortunately. So advocate for no trade deadline. You should be able to capitalize on the peak value of your players at all time, and this is a perfect example of it. So, I believe this is what are we talking about? We're talking about football americano, although in Portuguese it's probably like futebol americano. I like how Brazilians speak. It's probably my favorite accent.
Don't tell your fiance that.
Guys, 18 PPR Superflex. I'm using CMC. Is one of my running backs. Need help with the other. I have Marks, Warren, Rodriguez, Vidal, Hubbard, Neal. Okay, so to me, no Hubbard, no Rodriguez, probably no Vidal, probably no Neal, although kind of like Neal this week, but I don't think I'd start him over Marks or Warren. Me, it comes down to Marks and Warren. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that.
I think I go Marks.
And what's that?
I think I go Marks.
Yeah, I think just given how you were just talking about him and stuff, I kind of figured you'd go that way. I keep firing up Warren. I feel like I've suggested him over a lot of guys over the last few weeks, and it's worked out like decently. Like not a huge ceiling, but I mean a touchdown in each game over the last 3 weeks. Decent involvement in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's obviously an important part of the offense. So I think I'm gonna go Jaylen Warren, but rewind maybe like 10 minutes to hear Mike talk about Woody Marks and why he likes him this week.
Yeah, especially if Chubb is out, which we don't know yet. And again, that's more because like I think you're guaranteed Marks in the red zone and the end zone, whereas like Chubb, if they're going to use him, that's where they're going to use him. I like the matchup as well. Miami's turned their run defense completely around. They're the best. They're the toughest team against the run over the last month. It was like, I don't know how they did it. It was like target Miami, and now they're number one against running backs. Who have they played? Let's see. They played the Jets guys, the Saints guys, and the Commanders guys. I don't even know if the Commanders fall into that.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy. But I think it even goes back to like against the Bills. Let's see here. James Cook had 13 for 53. So a decent average, but nothing too crazy there. Didn't have he did have 5 catches.
I think the Bills lost that game too.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, so
against Derrick Henry, what did the Dolphins do? Henry had a big game. So I think it was right around the Bills is when they started to turn their run defense around a little bit. So over the last 4 games, so I like the matchup more for Marks, and I think he's going to get more work, more touches than Warren too. Although
Okay.
Warren's probably gets more catches.
Yeah, so I kind of like what you said there. If Nick Chubb's out, wait, all right. What I should just have the NFL like games like up right here so I can just figure out when everyone's playing. Nick Chubb. I was gonna say if Nick Chubb's out, start Marks, but if he's in, then start Warren. Was that possible? Where are you?
Texans play, yeah, they play an early game.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh is the Monday night game actually. So
it's perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Next up here, Tyler Warren or Andrews? K9 or Devin Neal?
Tyler
I think,
Warren.
Yeah, I think I've
Philip
I think
Rivers.
I've turned. I forget what was our debate with Warren on Thursday? Like who was it between?
Well, we weren't sure who the quarterback was going to be. The Seattle defense is not one to like really
No,
target.
they're one to target. No, they are.
That? Oh yeah,
they are,
yeah. Oh,
they are.
And who's number one? Are they number one or who's number two?
No, Cincinnati's number one on the season and on the year. Seattle's number 2 on the season of the most points. They've actually been better the last month.
It was a big gap though, right?
Oh, it was like 8 points per game. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was. Oh, maybe it was it this actual question?
Might have been likely.
It might have been it probably was Baltimore, a Baltimore tight end.
I'm fine with Warren.
Yeah,
I'm fine with Warren. So, he's just a better player at this point. So, I think K9 or Devin Neal. I want it to be Walker.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the usage for Neal is he's going to out touch Walker. For the most part, it seems like there's no competition. How's that Carolina matchup versus the Indy matchup for Walker?
It's a plus matchup for sure for Carolina.
Yeah,
fourth most on the season, about 7th. Similar, basically. They've given up 33.27 points to running backs on the season per game. Last month, 24.5. So they're still up there. The Colts are more just middle of the pack, both season and last month. So better matchup for Neal. Probably more work. Who gets more catches? It's probably like a coin flip there.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because the Saints, even when Kamara was there, like just not super consistent in their passing to the running back, and obviously like we've had the quarterback change, so we could look at Shuck a little more. But I mean, in Neal's 3 starts, it's 7, 3, and 1, like in that order of targets. So it's like, I don't know, pencil him in for 3, I guess. Like,
yeah,
which might be similar to Walker.
Yeah. Problem with Walker is like his usage has been better, but like Charbonnet's been for the most part getting more of the value touches. So
yeah, you've been saying that for over a month.
Yeah, Taysom Hill is still an issue for Neal. He scored a touchdown, Devin Neal, but it was Taysom Hill handed the ball off to him. So that could easily just be like Taysom Hill keeps that, So I think I lean Neal actually. Just because of what we said. Better matchup, and he's going to get more work most likely. So sucks though. I have Marks, but I penciled him in to start. Yeah, I would start Marks over those 2 guys.
I just said penciled in also, and I hadn't even read that comment. Like for the catches. So
yeah. Pick 2 flex spots in full PPR: Addison, Dowdle, Hall, Walker, McConkey. Addison, Dowdle, Hall, Walker, and McConkey. I feel like it's the running backs for me in Dowdle and Hall. Maybe McConkey. It's tough with so tough with McConkey.
Yeah,
Because I don't know how much they're actually going to throw the ball.
Yeah, it's been a lot of up and down with McConkey throughout the year. My instinct was to go to him when I see PPR and stuff, but sometimes it's like, oh, is last year creeping in? Like.
Yeah, and he hasn't been like a huge PPR guy.
No, I know.
Like he had 82 catches, 5 catches a game last year. He's 4.5 this year. So I think I go Hall and oh man, but it's Brady Cook. I think I go down to McConkey then. I think I just avoid Brady Cook and that offense and stuff, and I think I just roll with McConkey and Dowdle. I think that's my decision. Dowdle for me is for sure.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. We've talked a lot about him throughout the week, and even just a few minutes ago. 15 plus touches for Dowdle, or just opportunities, I guess, not necessarily running back, but easily could be that. So,
yeah, I'm going down to McConkey. Are you down to McConkey as well, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, are we no love for Jordan Addison? He's getting targets and stuff, and it is Dallas.
Yeah.
Obviously, he hasn't been good this year, and neither has Justin Jefferson. Quarterback issues and whatnot.
Yeah, if you wanted to go Addison or McConkey, that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right, but I kind of want to.
Yeah, better matchup, so maybe that's a smart move. Go at it, play the better matchup there. Chiefs have actually been a pretty good matchup for receivers as well recently. So, but Herbert still has a broken hand, so you have to keep that in mind. Someone dropped Juwan Johnson. I dropped Goddard for him last night. I hope it was a good move. Yeah, I think that's a solid move. I need 2 wide receivers and a flex. Nico Olave, Devonta Smith, McLaurin, Debo, Warren, Gainwell. So no. I'm going Nico and Olave for my receivers.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an easy one. Now, a flex out of all of these guys
is tough.
Yeah. Did we want to go back to McLaurin? Kind of. I do, anyways.
I would go McLaurin over Smith. I would go McLaurin over Debo. I think I'm going McLaurin over Warren, but I think that's close-ish. I'm going McLaurin over Gainwell. I'm going McLaurin over Corum. Now, the question is if Josh Jacobs is out, in my opinion. But I think the matchup being pretty tough for Green Bay, I probably just go McLaurin out of all these guys.
You got to make that decision in the morning, too, because Jacobs, his game is it's the middle slate. How do we?
Yeah.
I always I know this is super biased, but it's it's easier when you're on the the West Coast, because it's the morning, the afternoon, and the evening games.
Yeah.
But if I say afternoon games, I feel like that could be confusing to people on the East Coast.
Yeah, I just say early, late, and then Sunday night, Monday night.
That's I would have thought late games or the evening game. That's the last one. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because you say games, right? Plural. I think they should understand that. I feel like I do hear a lot of people call them afternoon games, though, even though it's afternoon for both on the East Coast.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for a 4:25 start is late afternoon. It's basically early evening too. I don't know. Is the afternoon only 4 hours long? I don't know.
Well, it's from 12:01. Well, is it technically start at 12:01 because that's like after noon
No, it's 12 and 1 second.
and 1 second. Okay, till well, I guess it depends on in the winter, right? Sun starts going down at like 4:30 in some places, in the north of the country.
Yeah, it's not
So
too far off doing that here.
yeah, true. Yeah, you're not going to know with the Emmanuel Wilson, it seems like. So I think you just got to go McLaurin, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You're saying Packers are Sunday night?
But no, they're afternoon. Sorry, they're 1:25 PST.
I think that's even more confusing. No.
They're in
yeah,
the middle slate of games.
Yeah.
Is that confusing? Would you call the evening or like the last game of the night a slate?
Yeah. Oh, the last game? No.
Yeah, I know, right? So it's like there's really only 2 slates.
Yeah,
right?
unless
On a
they
normal
do
week.
like a double header or something. I was just looking up the definition of a slate, but if
Gonna
it
say
says
something about rocks and shit.
yeah, it does that, and then like a fine piece of slate used for writing on, a bluish gray color. Didn't know that. I guess maybe I did know that. List of candidates for
Wait,
election to a post or office.
What do you mean you guess you knew that? Like either you did or
Well,
you didn't.
Well, like I feel like I did, but like I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like I would have to like if I saw it in a book, I would totally understand if they were using it that way, but maybe off the top of my head, I didn't know. If someone says like, "Oh, what's like a name for a bluish gray color?" I don't think it would instantly come to my mind. Like slate, which is what it's saying.
Yeah, you feel like you did know that. Well, I feel like you didn't know that. So,
I mean,
yeah, anyway.
with
So-
context, do you know it if you're reading a book and you say like the statue is of slate gray. That's the sample sentence it's giving here. I feel like I would just understand what they meant by that, So I think I do and I don't know. North American English, a range of something offered. So
okay.
there you go.
So it's not so the last game of Sunday night is not a slate because there's no range.
What about a double header on Monday night?
Yes, that's a slate.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Let me just go back. So yeah, Nico, Olave, McLaurin. I know that kind of got lost in our slate discussion there.
Yeah, Nico, Olave, McLaurin, Burden, Yoshivas, or Troy Franklin. So no T. Higgins. PPR, I assume.
Burden.
Yeah.
Is Dunze going to play?
I don't know.
It says he's trending towards playing. It is on the early slate. So
call back.
Yeah, to like 30 seconds ago. So you'll know if Dunze's playing. Which obviously, if he's not, then that makes Burden more attractive.
Yeah.
Franklin's kind of disappeared since the bye.
Yeah. It's 25% of the snaps last week. So I'm out on Franklin.
Someone said something funny. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, do you think they took Troy, like Sean Payton's taking Troy Franklin off the field because he played in college with Bo Nix? Like, are they taking him off the field just so Bo Nix will not target him and throw it to Cortland Sutton?
I heard that. Yeah. That's funny. And Sean Payton's frustrating as hell, man. Like, of how he uses his guys. It's like, oh yeah, they're playing well. All right, let me get this other guy involved. We just got an update on Jacobs, kind of. Packers are elevating running back Pierre Strong for Sunday's game.
Okay, well,
so they're doing that now.
It's an indication that Jacobs is out or possibly out.
Would you do Emmanuel Wilson over? Emmanuel Wilson had like 30 carries with the one game that Jacobs missed. Yeah, 28 carries and 2 catches.
Yeah. It's against Denver, though.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. I know sometimes we can just like assume these are tough matchups. Yeah, they've been tough against running backs. Two all year, two over the last month, like the second toughest matchup. So yeah, I still go McLaurin there, Tyrone. So okay, yeah. So Pat Bryant,
Yeah.
is he out? I didn't catch that.
He's rolled out.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go Franklin, unless if Adunze's playing. If Adunze's out, I think I'm still gonna go Burden.
I like
So
that.
that's how I'd approach that. And we will know that before, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bears play early slate. Second slate for Broncos Packers.
Yeah. So if Adunze's out, I'll go Burden. If he's playing, then pivot to Franklin there. Thanks for catching that, Ethan. I didn't realize Pat Bryant was going to miss. So
yeah,
Broncos elevate Kendall Hilton because they hate Troy Franklin. By the way, I think I figured out why, or I'm pretty sure I figured out why. I remember we were talking about like how are the Falcons eliminated when like they could win out and the Panthers and Bucks could tie and it's win percentage, right? It's like 8-9 is a worse win percentage than 7-8-1 or whatever. So I don't think I've ever seen that though, like where a team had more wins but didn't make the playoffs over a team that had less wins but they had less losses. So I think that was the reason. So in case that was keeping you up at night.
No, I don't care about that division anymore because the Bucks can't fucking
Bucks. Oh
yeah.
It's kind of amazing though.
I know they started off 6-2 or 7-2, and now they're 7-7.
I remember saying on one of our live streams, like after one of their games, like, are the Bucks the best team in the NFL and is Baker the MVP?
Yeah,
that was probably after
about a month in.
Yeah, a month into it, and that's how it was. It's crazy how much like you think the NFL season's short because there's only like 17 games, but it changes so much, man, because there is only 17 games. So one game is so valuable, So it only takes like 2 games for you to change your perspective on someone. We're going to be taking off here, guys, soon. Tough spot this week. Need to sit 1. Genty, Marks, Kittle, and Fannin. Wow.
Well, you're not sitting Kittle.
I don't think I'm sitting Marks over Genty at this point. So to me, it's between Fannin and Genty.
I mean, Fannon's really good, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Njoku's out as well. Ruled out. No, wait, that was Denzel Ward.
All right, Fannin hasn't been as good as I thought. Obviously, last week he was amazing, 8 for 114 and a touchdown.
Njoku's out.
Yeah, I think you're sitting Genty.
Yeah,
that seems weird, right? Sitting Genty.
I think I might still go Genty
over Fannin.
That's crazy. Yeah, and that's just me being a little bit stubborn. They are playing the Eagles, which has actually not been a terrible matchup over the last month and on the year, to be honest. So, and he says it does feel weird. I think if this was my team, John, I think I would be starting Genty. I just think that's how I would play it. He's involved in the passing game enough to where I think there's a floor for Genty. I don't know if there's a floor for the Browns and Shedeur Sanders led offense. So I think the floor is the ceiling, or no, the floor is the basement. It's 0 points.
The roof.
So I think Genty's involvement in the passing game. Kenny Pickett's playing. I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest. I have no idea. So I'm probably just going to still go Genty stubbornly. I said that wrong. I'm stubborn when it comes to that. So, but I don't blame you if you want to go Fannin and bench Genty. So to me, it's between those two guys, though. Olave was a no-show last week with just a few targets. He'll be matched up against JC Horn. Yeah, they do use Olave. I don't know if Horn's going to follow Olave everywhere because they use Olave kind of all over the place. Let me just fact check that though. I think they do. I'm going to check that real quick, and then we're going to take off. Yeah, he plays about a quarter or so, 25, 30% in the slot. Yeah, I think it's not like, it's something to think about there, Trone. And so if I think our next guy on the list was Emmanuel Wilson. So if you did want to, bench either Olave or McLaurin, then go with Emmanuel Wilson there. So.
But that's only going to work if you hear. I mean, we just talked. Someone got elevated, right? So a running back got elevated for the Packers. So it's kind of looking like Jacobs is going to miss.
Yeah, but you don't know for sure.
But we don't know that, and you have to make that decision before, like the morning game is the. Oh, okay. Sorry, you're talking about benching Olave. Sorry, I kind of lost the narrative there.
The morning is the night. Yeah, because he's worried about Jaycee Horn. I'll say this, though. I don't know what number one wide receivers are doing against the Panthers, but Panthers are basically middle of the pack, both on the season. Actually, not on the season. On the season, they're like seventh best, worst matchup for wide receivers. Over the last month, they are about middle of the pack. So I would still trust Olave personally, but if you did want to pivot, then go with Emmanuel Wilson. And let's see here who the Packers playing. The Broncos. You don't have anyone on the Broncos. I was gonna say, can you pivot from Wilson if you had to? But yeah.
Oh, you know what? The Saints do play at the same time as the Packers. Oh,
there you go. Yeah.
So you can make that decision because you'll know if Jacobs is out if you really feel like pivoting. Me personally, I think I'd rather still start Olave over Wilson, even if Jacobs is out.
Yeah. And then our next one on that list for me is probably Devonta Smith. So if you, want to avoid, because also, we talked about being worried about Olave having a bad matchup. Well, Emmanuel Wilson has a pretty bad matchup too. So, but that's it, guys. We will be back tomorrow, an hour before the games, if you want to join us. Appreciate everyone and all the questions. And good luck if we don't see you tomorrow on your matchups. Hopefully you win and you join us for week 16. But other than that, nothing else to say.
Well, even if you lose, you can still join us for week 16, and we'll talk more about different kinds of rocks and color.
Yeah. And go Navy, beat Army. That's happening at noon Pacific, I believe. So
is that just because we were a Navy family?
Yeah, basically. Okay. But it's one of the bigger games of the year. I think Navy's actually pretty good this year too. So they have like a guy that could be like a Taysom Hill. But anyways,
wait, hold on. Who's the last fantasy relevant player to come from Navy?
That's a good question. I don't know. I know. What's that?
I just thought you would know, because there's not very many of them, I'm sure. So
no, I do know that Roger Staubach. This is, he played in the 70s and stuff for the Cowboys. He went to Navy. Yeah, there's currently someone in the NFL. He's a safety. Malcolm Perry. Malcolm Perry was a running back that played for the Dolphins. It looks like no one. There's not a list of them. So there's maybe 20 on this list, and I only recognize Roger Staubach. So I guess it was him back in 1964.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody.
Yeah. Now Army. I don't know. They got looks like they got six or seven guys in the NFL right now, though. So, but anyways, guys, we appreciate you all, and we will see you tomorrow.